In the world of grammar, we often face situations where we need to describe what someone else said. Whether writing a story, reporting news, or sharing a conversation with friends, it's a common occurrence. We can do this in two main ways: direct speech and indirect speech. Each method has its own characteristics and uses, making it suitable for different contexts. Imagine your friend Sarah says, "I love learning English grammar." This is a simple statement that you might want to share with others. If you want to tell someone else what Sarah said, you can use direct speech and quote her exact words. Sarah said, "I love learning English grammar." This method is clear and leaves no room for interpretation. Direct speech is like a recording, capturing the exact words spoken. It's as if you're playing back a tape of the conversation, preserving the original sentence structure and emotion. It adds immediacy and authenticity to your writing or speech. This can be especially powerful in storytelling or dialogue where the exact words matter. On the other hand, we can use indirect speech to report Sarah's words without directly quoting her. Sarah said that she loves learning English grammar. This method is more flexible and can be adjusted to fit the context of your sentence. Notice that we don't use quotation marks in indirect speech, and we often make slight changes to the original words to fit the grammar of the sentence. Changing pronouns, verb tenses, or other parts of the sentence can ensure that it flows naturally. Understanding the difference between direct and indirect speech is crucial for effective communication. It helps you choose the best way to express someone else's words, depending on the situation and the effect you want to achieve. Reporting verbs are the backbone of indirect speech, providing structure and clarity. They tell us who said what and how it was said. Common reporting verbs include say, tell, ask, explain, and many more. When using tell, we usually need to specify who the information was told to. For example, she told me that she was going to the library. However, with say, we don't always need to directly specify the listener. For example, he said he was tired after a long day. Choosing the right reporting verb can add clarity and precision to our sentences. Instead of saying he said, we can use more specific verbs like he whispered, he shouted, or he mumbled to express different emotions. When we change from direct to indirect speech, we often need to change pronouns to reflect the change in speaker. Suppose John said, "I am going to the store." If we report this using indirect speech, we need to change I to he, because John is no longer the one speaking. John said that he was going to the store. Similarly, we might need to change we to they, you to he/she/they, and so on. These pronoun changes ensure that the meaning of the sentence remains clear in the context of indirect speech. The fourth paragraph, the passage of time, tense changes and shifts in time and place. In this paragraph, we will explore how the passage of time and changes in location affect the verb, tenses, and word usage in our sentences. When we go from direct to indirect speech, verb tenses often change, especially if the reporting verb is in the past tense. This is a common occurrence in both written and spoken language, and understanding it can greatly improve your communication skills. For example, if Mary says, "I am tired," and we want to report it indirectly, we would typically change am to was. Mary said that she was tired. This tense change helps to convey that Mary's statement about being tired happened in the past, and it's not necessarily her current state. This change in tense reflects that Mary's statement about being tired occurred in the past. It's important to remember that these changes are not limited to the verb to be, but can apply to other verbs as well. Similarly, words indicating time and place may also need to be adjusted. When reporting speech, words like today, tomorrow, and here often need to be changed according to the context of the reported speech. Today might become that day, especially if the reported event happened on a day other than the present day. Tomorrow might become the next day or the following day, to indicate that a future event is being referred to relative to a past event, and here might become there, to show that the location being referred to is different from the current location. Understanding these shifts can help you convey information accurately and maintain clarity in your communication. Fifth paragraph, adding nuance, advanced reporting verbs, and modal verb changes. To paint a more vivid picture with our language, we can use advanced reporting verbs that express specific emotions or intentions. These verbs help us be more precise and expressive in our communication, conveying not just the content of what was said, but also how and in what mood it was said. Instead of saying he said, We can use exclaimed to express excitement, insisted to express firmness, or argued to express disagreement. These choices add depth and clarity to our narrations, making them more engaging and informative. Similarly, whispered can create an atmosphere of secrecy or intimacy, suggesting that the information being shared is confidential or sensitive. This helps the listener or reader understand the context and subtext of the conversation. Modal verbs such as can, will, may, and must can change in indirect speech. These changes are essential for maintaining the correct tense and mood when reporting the original statement indirectly. For example, can often becomes could, will often becomes would, and must often becomes had to. These transformations ensure that the reported speech is grammatically correct and contextually appropriate. Similarly, may often becomes might, reflecting a change in the level of certainty or possibility. These subtle changes are important for accurately conveying the speaker's original meaning and intention. These subtle shifts in modal verbs contribute to the grammatical accuracy and natural flow of indirect speech. By mastering these changes, we can ensure that our reported speech is both clear and nuanced, capturing the full essence of the original statement.